What's up, everybody? We are back. You are watching Brawlin' Babes with Brittany, and now I am joined. I don't know which way it goes. It's always backwards once I rewatch it. Anyway, I've got Katie Perez with me. You are one fantastic brawler. Girl, you have an incredible background, a great record. You're 3-3 right now, correct? According to Tapology, right? And
Yes.
you just had a fight with a pretty tough opponent that didn't go your way. Talk to me about it. Break it down. How did you feel about that decision? And where do you think you could have upped your game?
Sure, absolutely. So we had a good first round. Pretty definitively won that one. It was open scoring, so we did know that.
Yeah.
I didn't really feel like I had won that. I have a tendency to get in my own head sometimes, and it's something I need to get over and just stop doing entirely, because my brain doesn't do me any favors when I'm fighting. My body does fine. My brain is like, hey, but what about if you, it's like, no. So it was a good first round. Everything that we had planned on doing was absolutely working, and for some reason I decided to do different things. I get a little overexcited and kind of I like to push the action. It's very much like in my spirit to want to just like drive pressure, get in close. And this was a fight that I was having a lot of success at my range, and I probably should have just kept doing that. I got into some good positions while on the ground, didn't commit to them because it was always in my head like, oh, you need to be striking. This is a very something I like about Combate Global is they're very focused on pushing the action. The whole like the tagline is much more action, and it's for MMA, and so it's cool because it means that everybody's always working super hard. There are no boring fights. But it can also kind of play on my mind, like, do I have time to really settle this position and do smart things before progressing, or should I just like go in guns blazing, hands going crazy, and hope for the best? So I allowed it. That's on me. I allowed it to affect my tactical decision making, if you will, regarding how I should have fought. In the second round, I did catch an illegal knee. There was a stoppage for the doc to come in, make sure everything was hunky dory before proceeding. And that's I don't want to be someone who harps on things like that. More I care about like for the integrity of the sport that we as fighters follow the rules. I want to be held to the same level of accountability at all times. So it's more. I'm not going to say it didn't affect my performance and I should have won anyway, or this or that. Like, I'm not going to sit here and theorize. Like, oh, a point or this or that. Like, I think there should be penalties. It's not for me to decide what they should be, but there is kind of a consistent. I don't want to say it's an issue in mixed martial arts that's unique to our sport. Any other sport, if there's a foul, if a flag is thrown, there's an immediate penalty, whether it's 5 yards, whether it's a foul shot, whether it's whatever it is,
a point.
There's some way for that the performance to indicate what happened, and points are so massive in MMA. Like, 1 point is literally the entire round, sometimes the entire fight. Actually often the entire fight, that refs are I don't want to say discouraged, but they're definitely hesitant to take them or even stop the action in some cases. So I'm not ragging on my opponent at all. I'm not ragging on the ref or the promotion, anything like that.
No.
We hugged it out afterwards. Like, I think she was an honorable person. We had a cool conversation afterwards, like half in Spanish, half in English. But like, it did affect my performance going forward, and I allowed my anxiety to mount, and I just made poor choices. I didn't stick to the plan. I wasn't disciplined. So that's long version of why I think things went the way that they did.
Right. Yeah. And I agree wholeheartedly with you. I feel like, I've worked many different events. I've been and attended as a fan many different events, and fighters have a meeting with the referees and the commissioners before every event ever starts. That alone right there should be your verbal warning.
I agree.
You break the rules after that moment, in the ring in the action, I honestly feel like, and mind you, I'm not an athlete in any way, shape, or form. I have no right or say in any of it. But in my opinion, I do feel like that should be the verbal warning right there. Verbal warnings, I think, are garbage. I think that should be the verbal warning right there. And if it happens in the ring, in the cage, in the wherever it is, that should be the point. You've already been verbally warned of the rules. You shouldn't have a second or third or fourth warning. You know what I'm saying? So I agree. I saw the knee and I said, "Oh fuck!" And then just something in the brain switches after that, and can change the whole route of the fight. So I watched. It was unfortunate. I was rooting for you, screaming for you the whole time. You do have an incredible opponent that you were fighting, and nothing against her. Shit happens, and sometimes you just get in that automatic mode switch, and that knee just came up, and you were like, "Oh shit, I didn't really mean to throw that, but there it was, my bad."
Right.
So it is what it is. Are you do you have a multi-fight contract with Combate?
I do. I'm very delighted too, because a part of the parameters of that contract were a certain number of fights in a certain number of months, and I'm super happy to be like kind of burning through it, because I'm in this sport to be active, to be busy, to work my way to the top. Like I mean everyone who does this says that. They're like, "Oh, I want to be the best in the world," or "I want to be top of the food chain," whatever. I don't think people get into this sport for anything less, and I think that's the way it should be. But I also believe that, like, kind of below that surface level bravado of, like, "Oh yeah, I want to be the best in the world," there's always going to be different kind of like tiers of mindsets, where people are just kind of happy to make that good paycheck, or to be a professional athlete doing the thing that they love, making a living, whether it's being kind of a journey. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, and that's awesome. And I think every sport, every career, whether it's like working an office job and climbing that corporate ladder, not everybody actually wants to be the CEO. We'd all like CEO pay, but like not everybody wants that level of responsibility, or that level of sacrifice, or so it's kind of it's one of those things where, like, okay, I'm saying the thing everybody says. I want to be the absolute best. I want to, like, no doubt about it. I want my name to be remembered. I want to build a legacy, all that. But it also is like, it absolutely needs to be there. I'm not in this sport to fight like once or twice a year or once every other year. Like, I want to fight like as often as possible. I do this not even because I love it, and I do love it. Like, make no mistake, I love it to death. But I do it because I need to, because it's a part of me. It is what I am, and I'm the most alive and the most myself when I get to do this awesome, crazy thing. So I'm really, really grateful to Combate that they're keeping me so busy. I actually do have a fight announcement to make. I have another one coming up, so I'm really stoked.
Yay! Are you allowed to give any details on that yet?
I am. It is actually it's really soon. It's for October the 14th. So coming up in the spooky month.
Yay! My favorite month.
Yes.
That's exciting. Where is it going to be?
It'll be down in Miami again. So if anyone wants to watch it, it'll still be on Paramount TV and Paramount Plus, the app. So it'll be fully available in those streaming fashions.
Yes, that's awesome. I love that they have that deal with Paramount that allows everybody to watch.
It's so nice.
Yeah, that's beautiful. How exciting. Do you have a name for an opponent yet?
I do. Give me 2 seconds. I will remember it. It is starts with a K. I know that. I was like, oh, we both have a K name. Kayla Rocco.
Okay. Kayla Rocco, right on.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm definitely stoked. I'm happy to be able to hit the ground running from my last performance, so that I can one up myself, as it were. I'd actually like to kind of two up myself, because I feel like I took a step forward with my first Combate appearance, and then kind of a step back with this last one. So I'm really looking forward to blowing the socks off of everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no doubt that you will, because you just have that competitive just drive and spirit about you. Where do you train out of, and how is camp going so far then for this fight?
Yeah. So I train with Team Phoenix out of Combat Fitness in Greensboro, North Carolina. Um, the best gym ever. Camp, everything's going great. It's so funny thinking of it as camp, because I don't really take any time off.
Right.
There's no off season to MMA, but there's especially no off season for me. I really like my favorite thing is to just be back at the gym on Monday. You know, we do the drive up from Florida. I rest on Sunday, and it's back to work, back to business. So, obviously, when we have a fight coming up, my coach can actually like schedule and plan my workouts so that I kind of peak at an appropriate time. So there is
Right.
all that science going on, but I know nothing about it. All I know is I just do what I'm told, and all that
Yeah.
stuff happens. But yeah, things are going great. I'm very excited to show the techniques that I have failed to show thus far by getting my mind in the right place. And it's something that I'm a professional. I'm going to own the fact that I'm 6 fights in. I should well have been there by now. Um, and that's on me that I haven't been, and that I've fluctuated in my self-belief and my resolve and my doubts and my this and my that, and I allow those things, that fear of failure, but even more so that fear of success, which is a foreign concept to me in the words, but it's beginning to make sense. And the more time I spend with it, the more I'm able to confront what the features, what's behind that, and kind of sink my teeth into what am I doing with my life if I'm afraid to succeed. Um,
Right. Yeah, that's definitely not something you hear very often is a fear of success because everybody's scared to lose because then they get haters and get shit talked on. Whoop de
yeah,
whoop. We get that, right? But a
and it
fear of
sucks. It
success.
hurts. It hurts your face. It hurts your feelings. It just
Oh,
hurts.
oh, absolutely. And rightfully, you know what I mean? Like, not taking anything away from that, but a fear of success is definitely a real thing because for just as many haters you have, you'll have that many fans and that many people watching you and
Mhm.
expecting a certain level from you that like some days I don't even know that I want to brush my damn hair. You want me to do what? you know?
Right.
So I get that. Do you have and I just got off a live with some really incredible people who are doing some pretty badass things with their academy out in the UK. But do you
Cool.
have a mental health coach that's helping you guide through these?
I
Um,
do. It's kind of that my coach actually. So like
okay.
he fills like all the roles. Like he's a strength and conditioning wizard. He's a nutritionist. He knows all these things. He's had so much experience in the sport.
Mhm.
And he's really the first person that I was able to like open up to and kind of delve into kind of like the demons of my past and my psyche and start to, because training, but the nature of what we do is so intense that your walls, you only have so much energy. So you're
Mhm.
either putting energy into keeping those walls up or into training. And people can tell when you're holding back, and they'll push you and they'll push you and they'll push you. And then suddenly you're just like sobbing on the mat. And you're like, why am I crying? I was just doing some exercise. Why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
Um, and it's so funny because it's one of those things that like the first time it occurs, you feel like an absolute wimp. You're just like, I'm just this pathetic, like, and then you realize it happens to everybody. It happens to absolutely everyone. If you push hard enough, you don't have any energy left for holding back all that crap. And
Yeah.
everybody has skeletons in their closet. Everyone has crap. So if you go as far hard as you need to go, as far as you need to go, all of that stuff starts to wash over you. And my coach has been beyond instrumental in helping me navigate those. He never gives me answers because like that would be too easy, I guess. But he always
Yeah.
asks me the right questions to help me, get through those scary valleys in my own mind.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and it's funny um, because he pushes me so hard, and I feel like a lot of people would see our relationship, and depending on the day, if they walk in, they'd be like, "Oh, you guys hate each other." Like, why are you so mean?
Listen, if you're not cursing your coach out by the end of your workout, I don't know if you got a good enough workout in. I'm just saying.
I mean, if you think I love you, but I also hate you a little bit.
Yeah, I also kind of want to run you over with my car, but I'll be back tomorrow, so I won't do that today.
Right. Because, like, to have someone care about you enough to risk losing you to saying what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. Because, like, what I want to hear sometimes is like, no, it's okay, you did good. You know, like, you did your best, and that's awesome. It's all anyone wants from you is that you try. You tried so hard. Like, sometimes that's what you want to hear, right? But that's not how you succeed.
No.
That's like
And
the
that's
little
not
kid
how you
version of you.
grow.
Right. So a relationship of constant growth means a relationship of constant challenge. And that's that's the relationship I have with my coach, my teammates, with training itself. You know, I was just kind of like, I don't a cross between complaining and like crowing victory this morning to my coach about a workout that I did before heading into work this morning. I was like, doing these workouts make me feel like I'm not in shape. Like, it's very frustrating because they make me feel like I'm weak and I'm slow and I'm all these things. But that's the only way to get stronger, to get faster, to have better cardio. So it all comes from feeling beaten down and broken and pushing past that. So
Yes, it does.
It's a funny relationship we have with the sport, with everything.
Oh, I bet. It's incredible though to be able to have that kind of relationship with your coach, because not all coaches are gonna have that with their fighters, you know, like, and let's face it, being a woman in a man's world, you know, even more so, a man oftentimes just shuts down when a woman shows emotion. So, you know, to have that boundary breaker and to be able to have that relationship that's beautiful, dude. Like, not a lot of people have that. I've literally watched coaches yell at their female athletes to get off the fucking mat and quit crying like a bitch. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, you might need to say that, but you also need to come together and figure out, you know, like, what is that blockage that's causing this emotion, you know, and break through that. So that's beautiful, dude. I'm so happy for you to have that kind of relationship. And I'm super stoked to know that you're going to be fighting on the 14th of October. Woohoo. How many fights do you have on that contract?
I believe it was 4. So, like, I did the first fight with Crisula, and then I was signed and I had 4. And I've fought once, and I have this next one upcoming, or maybe it was 3. Either way, I want to keep fighting for them. So my plan is to, like, fight out a really good, really fast contract and get re-signed immediately. That's my plan.
That was gonna be my next question. Do you want to stay with Combate? Does that feel like a good home for you, or would you like to fight for other organizations?
I am so happy to be with Combate right now. Like, they're just such a good organization. They run, and that's not a knock, by the way, on any other organizations that I've fought for or been exposed to. I've actually been, like, it's my understanding that I've had kind of a charmed experience in that everybody I've fought for has been super professional. It's been a really smooth ride. I haven't had any issues with getting things together, and a lot of that is smoothed over by the fact that my coach does handle all the logistics aspects. Okay. So maybe there have been things that came up that I just never even knew about, because he was like, focus on your fight, I'll take care of this. Bruh. Right. So it never popped up on my radar at all. That's good. Yeah, to my understanding and knowledge and experience, like, I've never had an issue at all with anybody that I've fought for. Even as an amateur, mostly it's just been, like, super smooth. And I've just been really fortunate. But yeah, I do really love Combate, and not least of which because they say my Spanish nickname very, very well.
I wasn't even gonna try.
And also they've been fighting me frequently. That's what I want. I'm a fighter. I don't want to be benched on a roster for an indeterminate length of time. And, like, I understand that there are limitations, and you can't, like, promise people the moon. And nobody's done that. Nobody's, like, gone out of their way to promise me something and then kind of, like, shortchange me. Right. But
that's good.
Yeah, it's really nice to know that, like, much more action MMA over here at Combate. Like, it suits my style because I'm very pressure heavy. It suits my like lifestyle. The fact that they're calling me up, like, you know, a couple weeks after a fight, like, hey, were you kidding when you said you wanted to fight again? I was like, nope, I want to fight again. I was not joking.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How exciting, dude.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for you. I know that, you know, you have to be frustrated after that first bout, but I have no doubt that you'll come back and dominate this next one. I'm going to do some research on your next opponent, probably get her in my DMs, hopefully get her on here. So maybe stay
There you
tuned
go.
and watch that one. Maybe
Yeah, build the sparks.
I'll give her get her to, you know, give up her secrets. And that way nobody does that. Let's just be real.
Yeah, nobody does that. Everybody like says something really misleading, or end of the day, the person that you step into the cage with is going to be a different person than they were in their last fight, than they were on the last interview, than they were yesterday. You know, it's just a fact of the sport, and everybody reacts to pressure differently and different things going on in their lives. Like I fought for Combate. It was like, I think 6 weeks apart. The one against Crisula was like September oh no, numbers are hard. I'm not good at dates.
No,
I'm
that's
terrible
okay.
at
I'm
dates.
not either, and I didn't write those dates down. I just looked at my little. I got a cheat sheet here. I
Oh,
just
nice.
looked, and I didn't write those dates down either. But they
smart.
were really close, like 6 or 8 weeks apart.
Yeah, and that's like, I love that. It was, especially as I had no real injuries coming out of the first one, so it was really easy to hit the ground running and just kind of like revamp back up. And that's the thing, is like I would not, I can't and I won't blame that kind of shorter time, because if anything, it set me up for a better cut, a better rehydration, being better shape. So like, I like being able to fight super frequently. That suits me as a person.
Right.
And it makes all of the things that I do on the daily, where I train so hard that I have no energy for anything else. People are like, "Oh, you want to hang out?" I'm like, "No, sorry."
No, I have a
And then,
fight to train for.
right. Or like,
Yeah.
you know, and I feel bad sometimes. Like my mom called me up this weekend, was like, "Do you want to just like hang out this Sunday?" And I was like, I would love to, but also I need to do nothing. I need to do nothing for an entire day, and I can't do that and spend time. So
Yeah.
like, even if it would just be sitting hanging out, it's not the same as like just literally having no plans, no responsibilities, no schedule at all. So like,
Right. Just
you know,
not
I do.
having to hold a conversation with somebody is nice. So I get it.
Yeah. And like, I love hanging out with my family. Like, they're wonderful. They're fantastic. They're very supportive of what I do, just of me as a person, and they're just awesome people in general. Like, I like them. I love them.
Yeah.
But I do, like, I have to be miserly with my energy sometimes, and it kind of makes it all worth it when I have a fight to look up to. Like, I've got a date on the horizon, and I'm looking at it, and I'm preparing, and I'm ready, and I'm ready, and I'm ready. It makes it easier to justify those sacrifices.
Yeah.
So it's
absolutely does. All right, so now we're gonna go a little off fight subject, because
cool.
I've been battling this debate in my own head and I don't know if it's because I'm reaching like my mid-30s. I don't have like any major crisis going. I really fucking want to shave half my head, dude.
Do it. It's so fun.
And I want to tattoo it. And they're like, ooh. Everybody's telling me, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. And it's like, well, I would grow my hair back out. Like, I don't have enough hair anyway to be bald and not look like a dude. But you know what I mean? Like, what made you shave your head? I gotta know. Why?
Okay, yeah, no worries. It's something I have always wanted to do. I'm gonna let it down because it's like, it looks cooler that way. Now that we're talking about hair, like, to me, it's something that's like, oh, it's just like a badass look, and it's like something I've always thought was super, super cool, and something I just did not have the guts to do. And it was something I was never gonna do. It was just like, nope, that's for those people that are actual like badasses, and I'm just over here doing this. And it was leading up to my first scheduled fight, which actually didn't happen. My opponent weighed in like 27 pounds over, and they're like, yeah, no. So, yeah, no, that's the face I made. When I woke up that morning, coach was like, yeah, you're not fighting.
Wow.
But yeah, so leading up to that, it was kind of that mental battle with myself of like, well, why haven't you done this thing? Why haven't you cut your hair? Because it's like, it's for badasses, and it's like this really cool chick thing, and I'm not, that's not me. I'm not that. It's like, you know that you're like about to be a cage fighter, and you're gonna, get locked in there to fight somebody, that you devote your life to combat, right? Like to martial combat. Like,
Yeah.
how does it not describe you? How does it not encapsulate you? And I had no argument for that. So I was like, screw it. Let's cut my hair. It'll be cool. So we did that. My coach shaved it right in the gym. And it was actually a really cool, like, bonding experience. Another girl who had a fight on the same card, she did end up fighting for a title that night that I didn't fight. But she got like a pixie cut that night, and then went through a few variations of like a mohawk and then just totally shaved. And I know she rocked it. And it just kind of like gave me the courage to do this thing I'd always wanted to do, but just like shied away from because I wasn't cool enough. And so, you know what? Screw being cool enough. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So
yes. I definitely think you're cool enough for it. I definitely don't think I'm cool enough to shave my head. Like, my hair is see-through. Like, I don't have hair to shave anyway.
Well, the secret is you shave it and then you become cool enough, like by just de facto. That just happens.
Just de facto. Just auto in that cool club. Damn. Yeah, I love it. I love that look on you. I think it suits you really well. I think it gives females an edgy, obviously a little bit more of a masculine look that does intimidate other females.
It can. It definitely can.
You know?
I think it can also like speak to the seriousness, like whatever I was doing like this is even before I considered being an MMA fighter, because again, that was something that like badasses did, and I was like just some girl that worked in a bakery and had other part-time jobs, and that was, not what I was gonna do with my life,
right?
Because I was, again, not cool enough, or I wasn't tough enough, or like whatever it was that qualified you to be an MMA fighter. It wasn't those things in my head. And I would see girls at jiu-jitsu competitions, they'd have like a sick undercut, or like they'd have like just the side shave. And I'm like, those chicks, they take it serious. You can tell. And they would just like, I'm not gonna say it would get in my head, but it's like, it's just cool. It's cool to see people embrace what they do and what they love so fully that they're like, I don't care if society says this is weird or like not feminine or anything. Like, I don't care. This is what I'm gonna do, and you're gonna deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love it. I think it's a dope look. Like, I wouldn't want to piss you off on a street. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely a good look. Would you shave the whole thing?
I've thought about it before, mostly when it gets like stuck under people's knees, or it like becomes a tangled mess after training, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to brush this. My arms are tired. I don't want to figure this knot out in the back. And pretty much every time I take the braids out, I'm like, you know what? This is the last time I'm shaving it all. But I do really like having long hair. I don't know if you can tell, but I like dyeing it crazy colors.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you. Oh, I didn't do this. I finally started getting it professionally dyed, and there's a big difference, not gonna lie. Or professionally colored, excuse me.
Yes.
By a colorist who knows what she's doing and doesn't use fabric dye. Yeah, she's awesome. But so I like having it to play with and do the crazy colors. It is kind of part of my like identity and image and brand, if you will. I've thought about it. I may. You never know. I probably won't, just because I do like having the length there. And to me, it's almost that like dichotomy. Like, this is a very feminine thing to do, and this is a very like
masculine thing to do.
Masculine, or like off course, or it's just like it's just not in line with that. So it's kind of fun to have that alternative, like a split. And it actually comes balance,
up like a yin and a yang. I like it.
Thank you. It actually shows up a lot in my art. Like when I sketch, when I paint, I do a lot of split faces where it's like it'll be digitized on one side and normal on the other, or like crystallizing away and dissolving on the other, or it'll be like a person and a creature, or it'll, there'll be some kind of morphing process. And I don't know what it is that's fascinated me about like that asymmetry, or that balance through imbalance, that just anytime there's a dichotomy of two things that seem diametrically opposed or shouldn't work together but do. So it's kind of interesting to me that I do reflect it in my personal style.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I love that about you. I've seen a few of your different art pieces that you've posted. You don't post all of them, I'm sure, but you're a fantastic artist. How long have you been in the art world? I mean, since a
well,
kid or
I mean, so like art world in general, since I was a kid, and if you're gonna argue that martial arts counts, I did martial arts when I was like when I was like 4 or 5, I think, is when I got started with Chinese Kempo because my brother was doing it, so like I did everything he did. And then when he moved on to other things, I just kind of like stuck around like a bad penny. I wouldn't go away. And then when I started a jiu-jitsu program, I joined that, and then that was like very much my focus. But you know, I love music. I played a few instruments, violin, guitar, piano, trying to pick up cello, but I'm very bad at it. I picked those things up in middle school, theater, high school, and then college is actually what I studied. So theater and film. But like I've always loved the art world and it's been a big part of who I am. Like just trying to express myself through poetry, through painting, through sketching. I don't feel like I'm very good at traditional forms of like visual media. Like I don't more recently I've been happier with like what I've been able to draw sometimes. Like, oh, you know, I caught in a good mood and like I drew something cool for once. Like there's like pages and pages and pages of just like crap that I threw away.
stop throwing those away. Those are fucking cool too.
But like I do have a lot of fun with it. It's more like an outlet for me than anything else. I do like draw tattoos for people, or every now and then I'll like take I get, you know, like a commission, like somebody like, hey, can you draw this, or can you do like a portrait of this in this style? And I'm like, oh, I'll take a crack at it, and if it's good enough, then yes, you know.
Right on.
But like it's so I think most of art is cathartic for me.
Okay.
I can be I'm an introvert. I'm like very I don't want to say like quiet and shy and closed off. Those are things that have defined me in the past. They're not so much what I am as like my inability to cope sometimes with too much stimulus, with like feeling overwhelmed. So those traits will come up, but they're it's more that like I'll use playing music, I'll use writing, I'll use painting or sketch, whatever it is, as an outlet to express what I'm feeling, what like kind of energy I have in that time. It's kind of amorphous and difficult to describe, but
No, I totally get it.
yeah,
I get
I
it.
appreciate that.
No, without saying it, I get it. You know, the mind is our best friend and our own worst enemy at times, and we have to find ways to release that energy that the brain holds. And I mean, you're not only are you an incredible athlete, but to be so musically and artistically gifted, like you're smart. You're a smart woman and you're beautiful. You've got a lot to offer this world. And, you know, I love that you work with your coach as far as the mental breakthroughs goes, because that gives you that outlet, you know, outside of music, you know, that personal outlet to just release to. So, you know, I've said it from the beginning and I'll say it till I die. Fighting is way more mental than it is physical.
Absolutely.
And if you can't get out of your own head, you're likely not going to walk away from that fight in your favor. And, you know, most athletes have experienced that at some point or another in their career, for sure. And I'm glad that the community as a whole is taking away the stigma of mental health being a like a downer kind of thing, and realizing that you do have to have a strong mind to power those strong punches or to power that, you know, that chokehold, because without it, you know, it's, you know, Carl Den, I just spoke to him. He said it himself best. Your brain is a muscle. And if you're not working it properly, you know, nothing's going to work properly. So that's awesome that you have those outlets. I'd love to hear you on the keys sometime. My I'm not a musically inclined person. My family though is, and I could sit and listen to the piano for hours.
Aw.
Hours. I love
I'll put
that.
I'll put up a clip or something and I'll tag you in it.
Yay! Yes, please. Well, right on. So, other than your upcoming fight, is there any other good news you want to share with us? Anything else exciting happening in the life of Katie?
The most exciting things happening in my life they're all fight related, because that's what my life revolves around.
Yeah.
But like the most exciting things that I have that are not my fight announcement are my teammates' fights announcements. Like I have teammates fighting. Well, I have some teammates doing a jiu-jitsu tournament coming up this Saturday, and I'm really excited for them. The following weekend, we've got two fighters. One, it's her debut, and I'm so proud of her. She's got like this crazy, amazing story that you just like you wouldn't believe it if you've read it on paper. Like if you watched her life in a movie, you'd be like, nah, they made this up. But it's just that's her. That's her life.
Send
So
her
very.
to me. I want to hear this story. Tell her
I
to
will
shoot
see.
me a message.
Yeah, I will. I'll send her your way. She's very camera shy, so I don't know, but we'll try.
Okay, fair.
But yeah, like I'm stoked for her that she's taken this opportunity to do this thing that she's wanted to do and was told she'd never be able to do, probably believed for a long time that she'd never be able to do, and she's just doing it. And like I'm so stoked for her, as well as my other teammate who is an amazing prospect. You got to keep your eye on him because he's just a joy to watch in the cage. He's an absolute ball of chaos, and it's just so much fun to see him work. And they're just such good people. And then we've got more people getting ready for their fights, whether they're getting ready for a pro debut at some point in the near future, or they're trying to build that amateur career up. So like the whole of Team Phoenix is working hard and keeping busy. So those are like my exciting things outside of me actually fighting is my teammates fighting. Everything else is like nope. Training, working, sleeping.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, I mean, I don't want to keep you too long because I know you have a life. But if you had anybody else you want to shout out, sponsors, fans, friends, family, the floor is yours. You can say whatever you want.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. He got some love in this, but definitely he always deserves his own spot when it comes to like shout outs and thank yous. Is my coach, Graham Prue of Team Phoenix at Combat Fitness. He's amazing. He's there's just not words. He's a phenomenal coach. And an even better person. That's just kind of all I have. Like there just aren't words for how much that man does for his students. I don't think there's anything he wouldn't do when it comes to bettering the lives of others. He just always goes that extra mile and then like a couple hundred more. That's the way that he is. My teammates, of course, they're our strongest training tools. They're also my closest friends. They're my second family. I love them to death, and I'm so excited to see them move through life and find their successes. And it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, everybody at Team Phoenix. My sponsors, Alexa Garcia of Amo Massage. She makes sure that I'm functional. Without her, I would just be like strung tighter than a piano wire. I would probably have snapped by now. In the similar vein, Doc Brown over at Summerfield Family Chiropractic. He has worked me through so many like near injuries that because of his work on my body, I've just been able to return straight to training, and it didn't turn into something worse. Like absolute lifesavers, the both of them. If you're not aware of the benefits of massage, of chiropractic care, like you should totally look into that because it's amazing. And if you're ever in Greensboro, those are the ones to go to.
Right on.
Wings Air Support.
I get my massage and my chiropractics on the same day. That's how much I love that shit. Yeah.
Do you go massage chiropractic or chiropractic massage? Like which one first?
I prefer massage first because then it relaxes the muscle in the body and allows for a deeper adjustment.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Wings Air Support is not only my employer, but like my number one sponsor as far as like they're very, very generous with me. And it's so helpful in taking the stress out of things, particularly in like right leading up to a fight. There are a lot of like kind of built-in costs to getting ready, and they help a lot with that. In addition to just being super flexible, like I'm on a lunch break right now from their and there's, you know, it's so generous and kind to me, you know, in working with that. The crazy life of a fighter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then yeah, there's a million and one people to thank. My family, I kind of like tagged them into my team, even though they don't train with me at the gym or anything, just because I was thinking like, oh, family tightness. But yeah, like I said, my family, their journey with me on this has been amazing. If anything, I'm closer to them now through doing this crazy thing that at first was like, I don't know, what are you doing with your life, kid? And now it's like they're so in my corner that it just warms my heart, and it makes it that much easier to dedicate myself.
That's
So
beautiful.
yeah, I have a
Having
lot
that
of people to
support
thank.
system is awesome. That
Ooh.
is awesome.
One more, just because I always I have like a scatterbrain, and
No, go ahead. I'm in no rush, babe. You think of all of them.
Oh man, kind of it's almost an extension of that teammate family kind of theme. But our school is affiliated under Professor Dave Ginsburg of the Ginsburg Academy up in Boston, Massachusetts.
Awesome.
And they're, you know, very much like extended family. You know, whenever we go up and visit, they train with us. It's always like good, hard training, but always safe. It's always like everyone there just wants to, you know, take care of each other and see each other grow. And it's just like, it's the same energy as I get to train at home with. And I love everybody up there. And, you know, in particular, of course, the professor himself, you know, Professor Dave Ginsburg. So like,
Yeah.
we're very fortunate. You know, the relationship that my coach has with his coach is what allows everyone else to have that same relationship. So it's just kind of this like cascading waterfall of people being kind to each other and supportive of each other. There are some beautiful, amazing people in life and in this sport in particular. Or I don't even want to say sport. I want to say this art in this craft that we do. Because there are so many true martial artists who just like cleave to the old ways of honor and integrity, discipline, and respect, and those pillars that hold up like old school martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
They're still fighters. They're still, you know, like a part of the new wave of the ever evolving craft that we do, but very much driven by and upheld by those ideals that are what attracted me to this in the first place. So I'm very fortunate, very blessed to be a part of this world where I feel so at home, where I feel like my heart belongs. But especially so to have the people around me that I do. And like you were saying, that support system. So big thank yous to everyone.
Right on, right on. Well, listen, send me links and imagery so I can help you promote your upcoming fight. I would love to share those across all of my different platforms for you. And I can't wait to see you fight. You said October 14th, and that's going to be in Miami, Florida for Combate Global, correct?
You got it.
Live on TV, Paramount channel, wherever that channel is on your streaming.
Yeah, or for like $5 a month, you can have the whole Paramount Plus, which comes with like movies and TV, which is fun.
Yeah, that is awesome. All right, honey. Well, you go enjoy the rest of your lunch break, and and we'll chat soon, okay? Let's set up like a post-fight interview so you can break down the next one.
That'd be awesome. Thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast. I really enjoyed talking.
Yeah, dude. I know we had talked about it before, and it took a little while to get here, but I'm so glad to have you. It's been an honor. I'll say it for every fucking interview because time is literally the one thing we will never get back. So I thank you for sharing some of yours with me.
And right back at you. I thank you for sharing your time with me.
Absolutely. Anytime and all the time I will. It's the honor is really mine. You're an incredible person, and I can't wait to watch your career grow.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You enjoy the rest of your day, hun. We'll chat soon.
You too. Sounds great.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, you guys. So that was Katie Perez. I'm not going to try to say her nickname. I will butcher it, and that girl deserves better than that. But she just fought for Combate Global in August. She has another fight for them coming up in October on the 14th. So if you're not already subscribed to the Paramount Plus channel, you can watch it as long as your TV or whatever you use has Paramount on it. You can watch it live. Again, that's October 14th. And that was Katie Perez. She's an incredible person. She is so smart, so gifted musically, artistically, and as an athlete. I have nothing but good vibes and good feels for her. I can't wait to watch her get her hand raised for her next bout. October 14th. Stay tuned. Watch her. I will be back. I'm going to go have a lunch break myself. I'll be back at the 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time hour. At 1, I am joined by Lauren Garcia. She is fighting for the 155-pound title for Epic Fighting out in California. So stay tuned. I'll be talking to her at the 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time hour. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.